Yeah, so that was the first thing that happened was I no longer had to take responsibility for everything around me because I was turning to my subconscious spirit and asking it to give me what I preferred. And this is part of the experiment. It's the third protocol where you go through your day. And when you notice that something happens and you're not feeling joyful, loving, and abundant, rather than thinking about the person that did something or the government or yourself, that you're not enough to create something that you wanted, you just turn back to your subconscious spirit and you say, hey, I asked you for joy, love, and abundance. I'm not feeling it now. So let's get back on track with producing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes your new job rather than positive thinking and everything else. It's forming a relationship with this aspect within you and giving it instructions for what you prefer.
Hello, and welcome to the I AM Diaries podcast, where we take an unfiltered journey into the lives of those remembering and awakening to the I Am presence within. I'm your host, Jennifer Westcott, and today my guest is Russell Cohn. He is the founder of Gateway Spiritualism and creator of the Gateway Experiment. Russell has spent much of his life exploring personal growth, spirituality, and methods for inner change. But after decades of doing the kinds of things we're told should help us, he began to ask a different question. What if our conscious minds were designed to experience life and not change it? And what if there is a deeper aspect within us that could create change without effort? That question led Russell to begin developing a relationship with what he calls his subconscious spirit, and ultimately to create the Gateway Experiment, a 30-day exploration of what might happen when we stop asking the conscious mind to be both the doctor and the patient. Russell, welcome. And please share with us how this experiment began.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate being here with you today. And I think to answer your question about how it began, like so many things that are wonderful in life, it began at a real low point in my life when I was struggling shortly after my divorce, after being married for 40 years and finding myself alone and depressed in a small apartment. And even though I was still at the time reading books about Buddhism, about how to change our lives and various different techniques, and you know as well as I do all of the different authors and teachers that we follow, it just reached that point where there must be something more to it than this. And that was when I had a memory return from years earlier, reading some books about an ancient tradition of the Huna people in Hawaii that were able to access a deeper aspect within themselves and encounter a presence within them that had much more power about changing physical circumstances for individuals. And that just came to me at that very low moment. And from there, I, I, I focused on what that might be for me.
Hmm. And so as that so at that moment you started an experiment, right? Like is that where the the idea for the experiment began? Was through that memory and that longing to find that aspect within you?
Uh, Very shortly after it, my only reference in my life for deeper aspect within me was what we refer to as the subconscious mind.
Hmm.
And, in that context, I only knew the subconscious mind as the place where, the emotional triggers are and the past trauma and fear and anxiety from my childhood, etc., all resides. But
Mhm.
then, as I considered that, I realized that, well, if it does all of those negative things, maybe it just has the power to change my state. And I don't realize it when joyful things happen and when things go well, that maybe it's coming from the same place.
Mhm.
And so once I got that idea, I became sort of obsessed, if you will, with figuring out how to form some relationship with that deeper part within me to engage it and influence it about exactly what feelings and emotions and experiences it was bringing toward me rather than continuing to let it do it in isolation and just being the receiver of every action that it takes.
Right, right. Well, in your video, which I highly recommend people watch this video of Russell's on his YouTube channel, it goes into detail, and it's what you're saying right now is reminding me of something you said about how a lot of the personal development things that you tried left you um feeling like not good enough, and that it became
Right.
um what was the word that you use, a stage for self-judgment. And
Yes.
can you expand a little bit on why you think that is like maybe personal development methods, how you know what's going on there that it creates that? Because like you mentioned in your video, I don't think that's just you. I think that is a lot of people that end up feeling that as they embark on the next method that they're going to try to change themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great subject that I don't know. I think a lot of people are becoming more aware of this. I've seen mention of it on Facebook and other places where you do these practices and it's not one teacher or one guru. It's basically all of the methods that we have are presenting our conscious mind with a task to do so it feels better. So the term I use is that your conscious mind becomes the doctor and the patient at the same time. And when we're asked to visualize, to say affirmations, to watch our thoughts so that they're positive thoughts, meditation, of course, and all of these activities that are designed or they tell us lead to a better state and a better experience of life.
Mhm.
So when that experience of life doesn't show up that way, then the only reason that we have or understanding for that lack of development is that it's our fault, that we
Mhm.
haven't done it right, that we haven't tried hard enough, and that it takes more effort, or as you know, the unspoken one is that we're just not good enough. We're not smart enough. We don't understand it well enough, or
Yeah.
whatever else. Because when you read those books about how to, get over your subconscious or get your life in a better place, and this goes back even to the Dale Carnegie, the Think and Grow Rich, the
Yeah.
all of those people, all the way to today, where we're asked to do something that requires an effort, it requires persistence or patience, just some action. And the only answer when you don't get the result is that you're not doing it right.
Yeah. It implies you're not good enough from the get-go. And yeah. And
Yeah.
then it kind of like reconfirms it, you know?
So either there is no way for many of us. I mean, for some people, that stuff works right away and they go on to lead wonderful lives. But for a lot of us, very little had changed in the things that I wanted. And
Right.
either nothing works or there's something you're missing.
And that is when you say something missing is that aspect is because the personal development ignores that aspect within you. It's all about
Right,
trying to, it's more work, it's more work, it's
right.
more work.
It's
And
persistence, it's patience, it's all of that, those qualities that you're supposed to have. And I just want to say also that for sure, when you repeat affirmations, even in the space of 5 minutes, you could feel your state change. It does
Mhm,
have an effect. So
mhm.
that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to what I call your base emotional state, which is the place from which you live your life, how you are most of the time.
And I love that yes, because that's what the whole Gateway experiment is about is noticing your base state. Can you speak more about how, when you went through the experiment, what you experienced?
Sure, sure. What came to me was that I no longer wanted to focus on the circumstances that I wanted to change. So it wasn't that I wanted to focus on if I only had a really nice apartment with a view of the park, or a different relationship with someone that loves me in a different way. And what I really wanted was that different experience of life, to just wake up and feel joyful before I thought about my apartment and what relationships I have and how much money is in the bank and all of that. To just come from that place of feeling joyful from within. And so the words that came to me is the joy, love, and abundance, because even abundance, to feel that you just are filled with everything you want, and to separate it from having to think about what you have and what you don't have.
Mm.
To just be in that place. How I felt most of the time when everything was just in neutral, that I wanted to be joy, love, and abundance, to feel that way, to be smiling just from within.
Mm.
And that was the first realization that I had that day, was how am I going to get into that state? And I wanted it now, not after I go and do this, not after I develop that, not once this changes. I wanted it now. And that's when this concept of this deeper aspect within, that seemed to have the power to change my mood, my frame of reference on a dime was
Mm.
how it seemed to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that story about you sitting in your apartment, your small apartment, feeling depressed and angry right after your divorce. And that was the moment when you said, "My heart's voice spoke to me." Uh,
Yes.
and that was when, and that was almost like, and I have just goosebumps right now because it was almost like that was when you made contact with that at the deeper aspect within you that
Right.
said you can choose this regardless of the circumstances. Like
Yes.
you can choose the state of joy, love, and abundance. And what a beautiful moment.
That is how it felt to me. And what I described in that video was not using my thinking mind to figure out what I needed to do now, but just that my heart spoke joy, love, and abundance, just the feelings that I wanted to have.
So I'm just really what have you noticed about what changes have you noticed in yourself, Russell, since doing this experiment?
To answer your question about what's changed for me, I think I said in my video that the circumstances around me didn't change immediately, but what did change immediately was that conversation with my heart and how I felt.
Mhm.
And the whole job of managing my inner self, of my positive thinking, of my visualizing what I wanted, and all of that, I was able to let go of all of that stuff and just drop
Ah,
it. And I can't tell you what a relief that was. That was the first thing that happened. I no
oh,
longer had to manage everything like that.
that's heavy
It
managing
is.
all that. Like we can all go, oh, like I even took a deep breath as you said it. I'm like, oh yeah, to not do that was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so that was the first thing that happened was I no longer had to take responsibility for everything around me because I was turning to my subconscious spirit and asking it to give me what I preferred. And this is part of the experiment. It's the third protocol where you go through your day. And when you notice that something happens and you're not feeling joyful, loving, and abundant, rather than thinking about the person that did something or the government or yourself that you're not enough to create something that you wanted, you just turn back to your subconscious spirit and you say, hey, I asked you for joy, love, and abundance. I'm not feeling it now. So let's get back on track with producing that.
Hmm.
And that becomes your new job rather than positive thinking and everything else. It's forming a relationship with this aspect within you and giving it instructions for what you prefer. And there's a whole lot to unpack in what I'm saying right now, but
Hmm.
but it life becomes more just simpler. And after you ask for this shift in the state that you find yourself in, you don't have to sit there tapping your foot. You just let it go about your daily business. And then at the end of the day, you check in with your heart and see what your emotional state turned out to be as you continually go back to the subconscious spirit and ask for what you want.
Hmm. I just love it. It's the it's the inward. It's the inward journey. And that's the only way, you know. I mean, there's many paths, but the only way is the inward. And well, I surprised myself and Russell last night. I was reading through this, and something just it was very spontaneous. Something came up and said, "I want to do this." And I'm like, "Well, how great would that be just to like be a case study since this is like brand new?" And so I'm announcing now that this is going to be I'm going to be doing the Gateway experiment. And I'm really excited. And I have to say, I felt it in my heart. There was no question. And I didn't think about, oh, do I have time? It just popped out. I'm doing it. That's just it.
Wow.
And so that's how it came about. And so I'm really excited to be doing this and also share um, my experience with the experiment in my own journey.
Uh, neither of us know where it will go.
Nope.
And that's what I love about presenting it as an experiment. It
Yeah.
just takes out that whole aspect of the thinking conscious mind, judging everything, seeing how it fits in with this or that. Should I try this or not? It's an experiment.
It's an opportunity to connect with that deeper, beautiful aspect within your heart and to know your true self, which is joy, love, and abundance. And yeah, and and then yeah, so I'm very excited. And also, can you tell us how others can where they can go to download this experiment and to begin it themselves, and how you have this kind of structured and set up for people to do?
Sure, sure. I'd be glad to. I have it set up through Substack, which you can either find in the link where you see my video, or you could go to Substack and search Gateway Spiritualism. So that's where you could watch the video, which I highly recommend because there's a lot of context that you need to show your conscious mind in order to have the base information to go on to the experiment.
Right, right.
But then once you subscribe to my Substack, which is a free subscription, you will receive a welcome email from my account that contains the experiment documents.
Okay.
And I suggest to everyone that you print it out. For one reason, the record keeping piece is in the experiment downloadable PDF. And you'll want to have that in front of you each day so you can track the number that you come up with each day over the 30 days as your base emotional state. And then I'm asking people to send me a screenshot at the end of the 30 days, and
Mhm.
I will compile the information anonymously, confidentially. Your name will not be revealed in any way, but we'll get to see if 50 or 100 people do this over 30 days, how their experience of life changes.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to see how that goes.
Yes.
So you'll start to see that if your base emotional state raises up, you're going to start to have different experiences out in the world. You're just going to
Mhm.
show up differently. You're going to have different interactions with people. And, all of that spontaneity, oh, that just happened, is part of what this greater aspect within us creates for our experience of life.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm very excited that you're going to do this and we can watch your experience.
Yeah.
And I want to, create a community through the Substack comments that'll be open to subscribers, and respond to any questions that people have about it, and try and clarify what's working and what isn't.
Yes. Yes, that's what I wanted to mention too. If you do want to share your daily experience with this, you can go in the comments in Substack, which is what I'll be doing. I will share it there,
Okay.
and every single day what what I'm noticing my base state is. And yeah, and what happens over 30 days with that. So yeah, I'd like to invite people to also um, get on the Substack comments as well and share, because this is how we can feel supported in our journey, and also hearing other people's experience deepens our own many times, because we other people have it insights that maybe we didn't notice before. And so I think that's really powerful as you're going through it, and it makes it more fun too.
Yeah.
So sharing it with people that are doing it, that's really fun. And
Yeah.
yeah. So and I just want to say too, like, I've known Russell for a long time, and I've seen changes also, how he creates joy, love, and abundance in his life with ease and grace. And it's really true. And even like, can I tell the story about your citizenship?
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So here we are in Mexico, and Russell was wanting to get his citizenship here in Mexico. Yeah, he doesn't hardly speak any Spanish, and that's a huge requirement. Everyone I talk to says it's so hard to get your citizenship. You have to know the history, you have to know the language, so on and so forth. And Russell decided, he got in this state of rejoicing, seeing himself getting his citizenship. And he was relentless. He's like, I'm staying in it, no doubt. I'm not picturing anything else. And I don't know how he did it, but he walked in there and he walked out with his citizenship. I'm like, hola, ¿cómo está? I mean, like, this
That's,
is about the Spanish we know. So, I mean, we do better than that, but I'm just exaggerating.
oh
But
no.
it was amazing. And
Yeah.
this is what he created by being in the state of joy, love, and abundance, and knowing and standing in his power that he is the creator of his life. From that deeper aspect within him, having a human experience, so
Yes.
that came through like that. That's how it works. So
Yes, that's a great example of connecting your state to your actual physical experiences.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're a lot more peaceful. I mean, so much.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
I'm just enjoying myself, and with all of this project, I can work 40 or 50 hours a week of writing about Gateway Spiritualism and making videos, and none of it feels like work to me, which
Mhm.
is just a lovely place to be in. I'm just very, very grateful, very thankful for discovering what I discovered, and so excited to share this with people
Uh,
and see what happens, which is one of my favorite
yeah.
things to say. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what we create.
Yes.
It'll be fun.
Yes.
So, is there anything else? Does your website have the Gateway experiment on it yet, or is that's coming? Can
Yeah,
people
I
go
don't.
there to get there, or should they just go to the Substack?
Yes, all I have is the Substack place for it. I'm sure I'll eventually develop a website as well, but
Yeah,
I don't want to have different assets right now. I think I'm just focusing on Substack. You could see my video on YouTube. I
yeah,
took the audio section and made it a podcast. So wherever you see Gateway Spiritualism, in the description should be the link back to Substack where you could subscribe and get the welcome email that has the experiment in it.
yeah,
So I'm just keeping it one way only right now to make it
yeah.
simple.
Make it simple. That's great. I love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, anything else? Any last words you want to share? Um, or
I,
you,
I think we've covered it all.
yeah,
And I'm just very excited and want to hear from people about what your experience is and any questions. You can reach me at Russell with two S's and two L's at gatewayspiritualism.com. And I'd love to hear from anyone who is engaged in this and will be glad to help you and tell you what I've learned and what I've experienced.
yes, excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Russell. And well, we'll be in touch tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm starting day one.
Very exciting, Jennifer. I'm very excited that you're doing that. All right. We'll see what happens.
Okay, thanks, Russell.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer.